Hi, everybody. Leanne Holitza here, the Healing Studio. Sorry for the confusion. I don't know. Last week I must have had my mind elsewhere because I put that this started at 11:30. It's almost always at noon, if at all. If I have to cancel it, it is not. It's normally at noon, Mountain Time. Anyways, I see a lot of you have already done the me pleases. But if you don't know me and haven't done this with me yet, I'm Leanne Holitza. I'm going to do our weekly Oracle check-in. And then today I'm going to be using the Colette Baron Reed, the Enchanted Map deck to do your individual readings. So if you just type in me please in the comments, then I will get you a card as soon as I can. I'm coming down a list that's coming from several different sources. So just know that if it feels like I'm skipping you, I'm not. I see you there unless I get to the very end and I'm saying I'm out of names that you're still not getting called out. Couple of announcements. Let's see. Coming to the end of the year, it's almost November. We will have a shop small right after Thanksgiving where you can come and get a discount. I know the Crystal Shop is also doing discounts. So if you're looking for unique local ways to support and to get cool gifts for your friends and family, that would be a place to do it. Intentions and affirmations happens at the end of the year where we set up for 2025. I've got a guides group and a light council group coming up. So all of those things are happening. Yeah. So today I'm asking for some help from the ancestors with the Amanda Ellis spray. So I'll give you guys that. And then I'm also using Ocean Divinite, which is really good for emotional energies that it kind of feels like really light, comes from the ocean. So deep emotional cleansing, that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's get started. All right, so for this week, starting off with the body being neglected, the temple is not getting the attention that it needs. So just be cautious. Whatever's taking away your attention, I know it's taking mine away, but whatever's taking yours away from your physical attention, your physical taking care, just be careful because the body is like the great toddler. If it doesn't get its needs met, it starts tantruming loudly, and it's sometimes hard to get it to calm down. Helper card for the week. Transformation is upside down. Things may not feel very like they're very much evolving. They might just be um, feeling stuck. Okay, so when this card comes, it's like we're never stuck. It just kind of feels like we are. This is the labyrinth energy. If you've ever walked a labyrinth, you feel like you don't, whether you're at the beginning or the end, or you're going backwards or forwards, it's unclear. But it's more to get you present, and that's why. So this is a week of just staying as present as possible. End of the week, there's some choices to be made. Okay. So, end of the week, there will be some options. It'll be good to be nice and clear in how you go about taking those choices because love is always the best way to make choices, not necessarily out of fear. All right. So, that's the start of it. Let's see what else is going on. So, if you guys are watching later, thanks for watching later. If you're watching live, thanks for watching live. I have cards starting for you now. Okay. So, I want you to just feel in to the 1, 2, 3 first. Okay, so this is your first card. Now, keep in mind the way we do this, you guys, is that the messages start to come and they build momentum. So a lot of times there's a message over and over, and when we see the card 3 times, then it becomes a card for all of us. So it's useful to listen to the whole 30 minutes we have together, just because it's usually building on itself as far as a theme goes. Okay. Okay, here we go. So really just feel in 1, 2, 3. What's your number? What's your card? Okay, if you picked 1, you're going to be working on the One Ring Circus. Okay, so this card really just calling you to know that you're doing a lot on your own, that there's a lot of things happening on your own. We're definitely working right now on healing separateness and, isolation, that kind of thing. So just kind of know that that One Ring Circus, you got it. You might be masterful. I feel like the message here is too that you can ask for help. Okay. If you did 2, you're working on wide open. Okay. So the world is opening up, even though that transformation energy is feeling stuck. You are breaking open. You are finding home and satisfaction inside yourself that doesn't have anything to do with the outside world. And if you picked 3, you're working with commitment, okay? Whatever that be. It may be to a person, it may be to a project, it may be to yourself. But this week would be a good week to commit to something if you picked 3, okay? All right, let's get going on the me pleases. I'm going to just call out the end of the list just so you guys know you're there and I see you. I'm just not, you're down further down, okay? So Natalie, Gina, Alicia, Clara, hi everybody, Terry, Shirley, I'm coming. I'm just starting off at the top of this list here, which starts with Denise. Denise, you're going to be having peaks of joy. That's a nice one, huh? Woohoo. So, I mean, not much more to say about that except for really opening up to whatever that is and really let yourself express joy in a new way. With that transformation and that stuckness, it might feel kind of difficult for things to get let in. But and when it's peaks, you might just be there for a minute and then it might go away. But just know you can keep getting there, okay? Nicole. Oh, you got a coming apart week. Okay. So this week, just sometimes it's okay. Sometimes there's things that are part of us that are no longer really relevant, and that the only way to get away from them is to come apart from them. And it sometimes feels really harsh, but it's not necessarily to punish you, it's just to get you to let go. Right. So just allow it. Kimberly, one ring circus. If you picked one, then this is coming up again. If you picked it again, this is the first time you've seen it. This is the second time we've all seen it. So we just need to start paying attention to the message a little bit more closely. So this is talking to us about the fact that you can set boundaries. That it's being independent is a good thing. You don't necessarily have to be putting yourself in the stress of another person's circus, if that makes sense. But just kind of acknowledging too that you deserve the sunlight and recognition as well. Okay, Katie, burnout proof leaders. Time for a little solitude. All right, little downtime, a little time to figure things out a little bit more. You probably feel like that's already happened enough, but this is okay because this is a time where when you give yourself, even I'm hearing from your guides every day, a little time just intentionally by yourself, intentionally away from influence of anything else would be useful this week. Jenny, you got some making choices. Remember, we saw that choices card at the end of the week. It's getting ready to make that choice, getting ready to decide on something. Sometimes there's a preparation phase that needs to happen. So just think of this week, you're getting ready to make some choices and making choices. Once you've made them, it's good to move forward and not necessarily second guess them or, doubt. Okay. Courtney, working with the rescue. So this can be a couple of different things, but one of them is, like just being able to be seen and ask for help, but also to acknowledge that sometimes where you've put yourself is the rescuer is you saying, I'm going to stop putting myself there. Okay. So just acknowledging that. Okay, Terry, and I just want you guys to also know, by the way, that when I put your name up on the screen, but we have sometimes the more than one. So you just look up and see if this is actually you. Again, if the message resonates, it's for you anyway. But all right, Terry, Golden Palace for you this week. Okay. So go to the Golden Palace, go to the places that you've created that actually work for you. Go and enjoy the fruits of your own labor, the fruits of your own relationships. Like it's okay to be happy, satisfied, even when the other people are choosing not to be. Okay. This week, sit in your Golden Palace. Elizabeth, you are going through a metamorphosis. Okay. So a big time of change. Change can be uncomfortable. It's okay this week to just kind of acknowledge that transformation card is showing us that we didn't totally feel like the transformation was apparent to us. So it's okay. Give yourself a minute to just recognize you're changing and that may not be understood by you yet. Diane, ooh, rock bottom card for you. Okay. Good news about rock bottom is that you only can go up from there, but kind of see what feels like it's hit the end of things, hit where you can't go any further. And with the rock bottom and the lack of transformation card, it's almost time to just sit there for a second and to address, how did I get here? And why does this feel like it does? And then, not necessarily heavy with judgment or guilt or shame. Okay. Gina, unexpected visitors. I'm on my way. This is just about things happening or showing up that you didn't necessarily expect. So just feel into what that might be looking like for you. It could be actual people, but it also could be, I'm getting that there's a lot of helpers, like maybe animal helpers, maybe nature spirits trying to help you this week. So just kind of paying attention to that as well. Cynthia, you're working with the details. Okay. So this is a week to really be working on the details, especially since we're in that transformations, crunchiness. And also the guides are pushing you back to that physical card as well as the temple. Make sure that as you work out the details, your physical care is in the details as well. Okay. Kelly, talisman. All right. Well, that is like a magical card about how you're going to be your own kind of foreseer. You're gonna create the path, you're gonna create the magic for yourself this week. Again, that transformation card being sideways, it's like, just trust that even though you can't really see what magic is working yet, it is. Okay. Matthew, oh, you guys are both doing the magic this week. Magical map shifter. Okay, so this is you deciding, which direction do I want to even go? If I wasn't so overthinking or analyzing my next steps, where would my magical self take me? What would the magical map say? Okay. CC, you got the bone collector. Okay, so this is the wise woman card. This is you sitting in the wisdom, being available to what's come before you. And remember, like, okay, I don't have to have like the crystal ball about what's happening, but I can kind of see some of the wisdom coming through. And how can I use that wisdom more wisely for myself and on my own behalf this week? Okay, so be teachable is what the guide just said. Cara, you're working with unexpected visitors as well. Okay. So this could be people, you guys, but this also, second time we've seen this, it could be, just mysteries and magic and things that you don't necessarily understand fully. It's totally fine to put yourself in the position to say no to the people you don't want to let in or the things that you don't want to let in, but be curious. Okay. Tatiana, you are in a change, okay? Metamorphosis, change. Things are changing for you. You're changing. The world is changing. It's all good. Embrace it, okay? Carrie, you're working with the magic stream, okay? So emotions, flow, being able to really notice that, I'm also hearing drinking lots of water, programming the water that you drink, like just by, intentionally putting your hand over it or just doing things to really give yourself that flow of the water spirit and giving yourself time to really work with what that flow means. If you can get by water, a little creek or a pond, that would work too. Catherine, your focus this week is third time's the charm metamorphosis. Okay, so I'll bring the book out for this one, you guys, just so we can hear a little bit more of the messages that are coming through. So this is the third time's the charm, meaning Catherine's working on it, but we are also all being invited in on it. Okay, it says you are in the process of deep and beautiful change. Butterflies earn their wings through great effort. The process of change is often painful, for it's never without losses and sacrifices. If you are to transform from one form to the other, a part of you needs to die. Let go isn't always easy, especially when you're used to thinking a certain way about your life and how you live it. So, okay, it says, despite your fear, you must accept that this is a transformational time for you and there'll be some loss involved, but you'll love what you'll become. Okay. So there you go, guys. Metamorphosis for us all. We're going to love what we're becoming. Christy, cleaning house. Okay. And this is very literal. Just get your stuff together, get your clutter together, clean out, get rid of what you don't need. Notice how there's certain aspects of your spaces that could use a little attention. Okay. Kira, you're working with the mountain. which this is just like deep wisdom, okay? Wisdom that's been there a long time, wisdom that has come through, lifetimes, just kind of really embracing your wisdom this week, okay? Finn, magical map shifter, second time we've seen that one. Okay, so stop overthinking where you're headed and just go. See what you want. I mean, maybe just write a few choices down, put them on a piece of paper, put them in a basket and draw and see what happens, okay? Just be a little bit more playful about your directions this week. Lisa, you got mountain too, putting it close together. So this is very much like a going within, deep wisdom, understanding the self week. So when we're stuck in that transformation energy that's not moving or doesn't feel like it's moving, it's because it's happening deep inside of us. And so that metamorphosis that we got is coming, is telling us to go inside, okay? Ourselves, of course. Robin, if you pick 2 at the beginning, it's coming up again for you. Wide open. Be open to change. Be open to how things are shifting. The metamorphosis may not be as you expect. It's okay if it doesn't go your way. Chris, oh, 4th time for the metamorphosis. Okay. So you guys, we are in it. We are in this huge transformation, but we're probably in the cocoon phase. And that's why we feel like it's not moving as fast as we'd like. Austin, oh, and thank you, by the way, for the belated birthday. Austin, for you, you're listening, okay? This week, listen to music, listen to your friends, listen to advice, listen to your guides. Just do all the listening and not all the talking, okay? Janice, ride the wave. All right, so this week's a good, we're all in a matter of change. We're all in times of transformation. Ride it and see what happens. Okay, Sam, sacred pool for you, okay? So coming into the sacred pool, which is like the sacred energy of self, the stillness, the emotional touch points, really giving yourself that option to sit in, kind of a collection of self, okay? Janelle, you got healed the ouch. Look at, there's a little nurse in it. So just let yourself be, the healer that you are, and use your own healing energies on yourself as well. When your feelings are hurt, when your energies are hurt, it's okay to use your own energies to heal yourself. Donnie, you're working with your strength. Okay. She's balancing on one leg. No problem. Look at this. She's just like holding the entire earth and balancing on one leg. Trust yourself. You've got this. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. You have all the strength that you need inside of you and then some. Okay. Focus on your strength this week. Okay. Blossoming Lotus, you are working on solitude this week. A little time alone, a little time with your own light, a little time with your own wisdom. And I'm hearing that every single day, a little intentional solitude would do you good. Shannon, you're working with the bone collector. So that's that being teachable and being teacher, learning to work with the land even more, noticing that time passes and time can give you wisdom. So really taking a moment to kind of feel into the wisdom of the lives that have come before you, kind of thing. Okay. Taryn, you're working with commitment. Okay. So if you had you picked 3 at the beginning, they're doubling down. This is time for you to commit to some things. That transformation card, is talking to us about how we feel a little stuck, but making a commitment, even if it feels stuck, feels like the right path to go. Okay. Eli, you're working with the magic stream. Okay. So the energy of really letting the flow, the emotions be known, but also like where things just kind of come in and you don't even have an explanation as to why. Okay. All right. Kimberly and Juan Carlos. Kimberly, metamorphosis for you too. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit more of this for you guys because it's coming. Okay. So this says, you are not a victim, rather experiencing a temporary discomfort. All must go through the beauty that is about to be revealed. Okay. Chaos and darkness that can occur can scare us, but we don't have to let it if we know it's part of the change. Juan Carlos, you got rock bottom this week. Okay. So watch out for those places where you just have hit it You're done with it and you can't go any further with it. And then just kind of sit there and see what's the lesson. And then know you can only go up from there. Okay, Stephanie and Tommy. Stephanie, okay, third time's a charm on the rock bottom, you guys. All right, I'm going to read it. So we're all working with rock bottom metamorphosis energy. Surrender and acceptance are the keys to freedom. Seems you've reached a point where you can go no further in the same manner in which you've been doing things. It's time to understand you've hit the proverbial brick wall. Deep sense of loss, and you don't know where to turn. The old way of doing things must be discarded fully in order to move onward and upward. All right, accept things as they are. Admit that you have no idea what to do next, and then see what happens. Okay, so there you go, you guys. That was for all of us now. Tommy, you're working with movement. Okay, so getting things going, noticing that the whole thing here is moving on the ostrich's back, and that it's a good time to get things done, even though there's that stuck transformation week. It's time to create some movement, get out of the procrastination energy. Hannah, you're working with the balancing act. Okay, so do it with love, do it with kindness. Notice that this is something that maybe you've set in motion, and it's okay. So this week, though, remember to honor that physical body as much as everything else. Isabella, say it again and again and again. Metamorphosis, you guys. We're changing, we're changing, we're changing. It is happening whether we like it or not. Just embrace it. Surrender. Thanks for the belated birthday, Tiff. Here is your card. You're working with the ghost lands. Where have you put some things on ice? Where have you left things in the past and not dealt with them? Where could you benefit from going back and seeing some things that still play out in your life, even though they're kind of frozen in time? Maybe go do some shadow work on that one. Okay. Carly, you're working with the bone collector. Third time's the charm. I'm going to pull it out. Here we go. So this is for all of us, you guys. You are whole and have everything you need. When the bone collector appears, she's asking you to look closely at your circumstances and see yourself fully present without reacting with past conditioning or unconscious expectations. Wherever we're wounded, especially when we're young, it's as if something essential is stolen from us. We adapt and accept a particular version of the truth that sets us up to behave a certain way in the future when faced with the situation that reminds us of the original event. We know ourselves, thus becomes influenced by perceptions of limitation. Okay, so this is letting go of feeling limitation, I guess. This is basically like, okay, we're metamorphoses, we're letting go of old wounds, we're hitting rock bottom with our own old wounds, and that's just the way it's going to go right now. And for Hannah, another third time's a charm, the mountain. All right. Deep wisdom, go within to yourself, okay? Understand you have what you need. Here it is. You have the capacity to flow around any obstacle. This is the time to adapt. Sometimes you come across what seems like an insurmountable obstacle, like a huge mountain that separates you from your success. You might think that climbing and chiseling away is the answer, but why take such a treacherous, tedious approach? Be like the rivers and flow around the mountains naturally, one step at a time, you guys, one step at a time. Wisdom is to go within. Okay, Habiba, you're working with education. So what kind of education would you like to be getting? What kind of education would you like to be giving? How can education serve you all right now? Focus on that this week. Sal is bringing again and again and again and again the metamorphosis card. Okay. So Sal's in big change, as apparently we all are. Embrace it. Okay. TJ, you're working with your goblins. Okay. So this, when we're in a deep time of change and when we're by ourselves in the change, we can have some pretty dark demons wanting to come out and kind of tempt us out of our progress. And this is really good time for you to just kind of recognize, those sneaky little things, they have a place in life, but mostly just deep in the forest as a mystery. So just face those goblins this week. Okay. Crystal, you're working with the dry desert. Okay, now one of the things about the dry desert is that there's deep wisdom in resources with the desert. The desert uses its resources very differently than other parts of the world, because it has to really keep things stored in until it's appropriate to let it be used. So this is kind of a week to recognize that you may be feeling into that lack of, transformation and that metamorphosis energy we've been talking about, but you're shoring up strength. Okay. All right, Shirley, I told you I was coming. Here you go. You're riding the wave. All right. So this transformation time, and it's happening to all of us. So everyone around you is changing. Give yourself a chance to just ride that wave, see what that wave wants you to know about your own emotions and your own resistance to change. Okay. Terry, Wizard of Awareness. He's like, I'm going to pay attention to what is happening. I'm going to be curious and wide-eyed and use my what I pay attention to help grow what I want. Okay. So just recognize you can look at the stuff you don't want, and that can be really intense, but sometimes it's also good to just watch and ask, why is that happening? All right, Clara. Golden Palace for you. You and Terry can go off in your golden palaces for your transformations. So giving yourself a chance to just be in it. You've got a great place to be during this time. Sit in it, be in it, appreciate that you can be happy and healthy in the change. You don't have to suffer. That's if everyone else is, it doesn't have to be you. Alicia, bone collector for you as well. I'm going to read a little bit more about the bone collector because that's 4th time's a charm. So that means it's for all of us. All right. So here we go. It says, the past has a way of repeating itself when you haven't learned the lesson inherent in the original situation. You're faced with that now. The bone collector is here to challenge you to see yourself as a whole being and not just one who's perpetually trying to heal an old wound. You'll repeat the past if you don't reclaim the things you believe you lost. So good week for all of us to be in metamorphosis and reclaim ourselves from our past. Gina, peaks of joy for you. Okay, now peaks of joy could just mean, a couple blips here, there, but don't get discouraged if it doesn't feel like it's sticking around. It might be something that we just need to kind of settle into seeing and appreciating and saying, yes, thank you, more please too. Okay. Natalie, 3rd time's a charm for the One Ring Circus. Okay, I'm going to read it. We're in metamorphosis. We're changing. We're rock bottom, and we're at One Ring Circus. Wow, we got a good week going on here. All right, let's see. Here we go. It says you are capable and competent. Oh, thank goodness, right? Consider creating and maintaining clear boundaries between you and another, discerning about your partnerships at this time. When you know who you are, you have the healthy sense of where you end and others begin. You're able to enter into the best kind of relationships that will attract people who mirror back to you your wholeness. Interdependent relationships are always mutually supportive, stimulating, and transformative. You can achieve anything at this time. So it's just about kind of keeping your relationships healthy and being willing to go it alone if you have to until the right person comes along. No, that's not always the message we want, but Tammy, you're working with protecting treasure. Okay. So this week is a week to really just kind of, during this deep time of change, during this all, stick with what you love, stick with what you know, only put words and energy around the things that make you feel loving, open, aware, that kind of thing. Okay. All right, so you guys, I made it to the end. I'm feeling pretty soupy, as you probably can tell, but if you watch me with any regularity, I am working through my own metamorphosis, if you will. But if you haven't yet put a comment on there and you want it, go ahead and put me, please. I'm going to throw a card for my husband, Matt. Okay, Matt's in the Wizard of Awareness. So paying attention, watching what's happening, not really making a declaration about what's happening, not saying anything about the occurrences, because sometimes if you declare how it is and it's not how somebody else is experiencing it, it can actually create more distance than connection. Okay. So just be aware of that. Sometimes you just want to listen and be. All right. I think we did it. All right, we'll see you guys again next week. Sorry about the confusion about the time. I put it up a half an hour earlier. It's always, almost always noon my time. And when it is time to see each other again, we will. Otherwise, happy cocooning, happy metamorphosis. And your rock bottom has a nice little cushy helpers down there with you. Your guides will say, "You've got this." All right, bye.